Okay, so in our first unit, okay, so as we start what is computer networks, then we discuss about nuts and bolts of networking. So when we discuss about the nuts and bolts of networking, we discussed about the network edge part, then the network core part. Okay, so all these concepts we discuss in our classes, okay, in our computer network classes. Then in the previous class, we discussed about delays and losses in networks. All right, excuse me. Okay, delay and losses in the network. So in today's class, we will discuss about layering in networks. Okay, so in any complex system, we need layering concept. Okay, or we have layering concept. So what is the need of layering? Then what are the different types of layers a computer networks has? And is there a layer available, or it is virtually understood? The computer networks is understood in the way of layers. Then we are going to discuss about what is the functionalities of every layer. This is what we are going to discuss in today's class. Okay, so now as we see an aircraft functionality, okay, let's say you want to move to a nearby state or a country using airways. Okay, so what is the first step you do is you will just go and purchase your ticket, or you will just show your tickets and verify your ticket, and then you will load your baggages. Okay, that there is a separate department which will take care of loading, unloading of baggages, transfer of baggages and everything. Then when you just complete all the baggages formalities, you will come and you will do the gate entry, and after you do the gate entry, you will board the flight, and then the flight take off. Okay, and then the flight moves to the destination. When it comes to the destination again, there is a department called the pilot will just land the flight, and then you have to go outside the exit door. You should just get your baggages, then you have to uncheck your ticket, and then you have to come out. So clearly we understood from this diagram that for a complex aircraft system, okay, so say aircraft department, we have a layer, okay, or we have specific department, a department to take care of tickets, a department to take care of baggages, a department to take care of your exit and entry and all those things, entrance, okay, and a department which take care of flight operations. Okay, now we cannot say that suppose your baggage is missing, you will not go to the pilot and say, sir, my bag is missing. Okay, you will not do that. You will just go to the baggage department and say that, yes sir, my baggage is missing, what I am supposed to do, or it is damaged, what I am supposed to do, all those things you will do it to the baggage department. Okay, we know. All right, suppose if your bags are missing, you know whom to contact, as all the departments are very specifically layered, and everything is it's just functioning in a layering model, okay, or in a separate model. This,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yeah, tell me, ma.
Ma'am, one of my friend is waiting to join, ma'am.
1 second.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, no, I did not get any request. You can see the screen. I'm not getting any request, ma.
Okay, ma'am. I'll let her know.
Once if
Thank you.
I get any request, I'll let her in. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now, what is the advantage of layer is the layer helps us to understand a very large and complex system. Okay, it's a very large and complex system. So layers will allow us to understand that. Number two is it provides a modularity. Okay, so suppose I want to change some implementation. Okay, I want to change the ticketing system. I need not go and tell the pilot, see, listen, I'm going to change the ticketing system, so you have to take care of all these things. Okay, so pilot function is to operate the flight. He has nothing to do with ticketing system. So what you can do is you have all full functionality to just say that yes, the ticketing system can be changed. Okay, you can just concentrate on the ticketing system layer, all right, and do all the modification there and everything that you want to do. So it gives you full modularity to do any change. Okay, that is what the layers helps us. Now in computer network also, computer network, you see, it's a complex system. We discussed so far, we discussed the edge, we discussed the core, we say that there is delay in the network, there is loss in the network, there is throughput problem in the network. So now it is very complex, it has many concepts into it, it has many protocols into it, it has many functionalities into it. So now, how are we going to learn all those? All right. How are we going to learn all those functionalities? What the layers come into picture? Okay. Now, what do people say or researchers say is, let us just divide the computer network into layers. As we have the aircraft layering system, we have layers in almost all complex systems. Okay. So what do they say is, let us just define layers even for computer networks so that it is very easy for everyone to understand, everyone to form new protocols, everyone to work on it. Okay, so that is why we are supposed to learn about the layers. Okay, now even in our syllabus, first we will discuss the entire layer in the introduction of the layers. Then from the second unit onwards, we are going to discuss about protocols functioning on every layers. Okay, now what are the two different layering techniques or layers that the network follows? Is number one is the protocol stack, number two is the service model. Okay, so protocol stack, what does it say? It purely talks about the protocol that works in every layers. Okay, it talks about functionalities of the protocol, but it just says that, okay, in application layer, these are the protocols. In the transport layer, network layer, link layer, and physical layer, it has 5 layers. Please have it in mind. It has 5 layers: application, transport, network, link, and physical layer. Okay, so these 5 layers mainly talk about the protocol stack. This is what we are going to study in our syllabus. Okay, we are going to study about the 5-layer internet protocol stack, the TCP/IP model. Usually it is called as the TCP/IP model. Now coming to the next one. Okay, so they define 7 layers. Okay, so they call it as OSI, Open System Interconnection Reference Model. Okay, Open System Interconnection Reference Model. Now they say, let us have all the functionalities of the network as 7 layers. Okay, so application, presentation, session, transport, network, link, and physical. Okay, so mainly the application, presentation, session, they deal about your data. Okay, the transport and network, they deal about your connectivity. The link and physical, they deal about your hardware management. Okay, so that is how your layers are formulated in computer networks. Now, talking about the first model, protocol stack, you could see in this diagram, in the data link. Okay, so you have the Ethernet, token ring, FTDA, and WAN. The network, we have the IP protocol. Now you see that IP version 6. Okay, now IP version 6 have come into picture. Then ARP, ICMP. Then in the transport, the two well-known protocol, TCP and UDP. Then these three together, they call it as application. So they have put all the application layer protocol in the group. Okay, so the protocol stacks talk about the protocol that works on the different layers. Okay, so coming to the next slide, this is what is called as a service model. It starts from the application layer, presentation layer, session, transport, network, data link, and physical. Okay, now in every layers, now we are going to discuss about what is the function of layer, what is that layer defines. Okay, then we are going to discuss about different devices that operates on the layer. Then we are going to discuss about when a data come to that layer, how it is called. Okay, that is what we will be discussing. Now, here is how your data is called in different layers. Okay, so when your data is there in the application layer, where is the application layer? The application layer run on your end device. Okay, so all these layers, of course, is there in your end device. So application layer is where you open an application and you execute that application. For example, now you say, I want to browse the web. So what do? You open a browser, you type the URL. So who says that you have to type the URL there? To access the google.com page, you have to type the URL. So you may ask a question, why I should type the URL? Because that is a standard. Okay. So the protocol has defined in that way. Once you type the URL, the particular page is fetched from the Google. Okay, at the back end, lot of connectivity is going on, lot of protocol runs, DNS run, ARP runs, and they somehow bring the requested page to your computer. So this is what is called the application layer functionality. Then coming to the presentation layer. Now coming to the presentation layer, what is the main functionality of presentation layer? it should make your data in the presentable format. What is the presentable format? We all know security is a serious threat. Okay, data size, the message size is a serious threat. Now it has to be converted. Okay, the formatting of your data takes place in the presentation layer. Okay, so number one, it encrypt your data, it compress your data, okay, it format your data. So all these take place in the presentation layer. Now your data is called as data. Okay, coming to the session layer. So what is taking place in the session layer? It just monitor your activity in the network. Okay, so it says that if this is a packet, so how this packet goes on. Let me put some identification for that packet. Okay, let me put some identification for the user. Okay, so your session activity, what you do with the network, is monitored and recorded by the session layer. Okay, so then coming, so far your data is called as data. From message, it is converted into data. Again, still it remains the data. Then coming to the transport layer. So transport layer play a very major role for end-to-end connectivity. So what is that end-to-end connectivity? Means that, for example, now you have 4 applications opened in your client's system. Okay, you open a browser, you open a Gmail, then what you do is you just open a chat application. So all these 3 applications you have in your laptop. Now just when you execute the program, you say www.google.com. So no time. Okay, in any of the requests, okay, that you send, you will not get the output in your Gmail window. Okay, so you would have observed that, right? So even by a mistake, this will never happen. You type google.com in the browser, the requested page comes only in the browser. Okay, it will not come in your inbox, or it will not come in your Gmail window. It will not come in your chat window. For example, I just opened web.whatsapp.com and I have all the WhatsApp communications going on. Immediately the Facebook page that does not load unless you click the link provided there in the chat message. It will not open. Okay, so now how this happened? Okay, how the specific application comes to the specific window. Okay, so this is because of transport layer. Okay, so transport layer makes sure that specific application, the application of your source and the application of your destination is connected by means of port numbers. Okay, so they call it a segment. So transport layer does many things apart from it. It takes care of your error control, it takes care of your congestion control, it takes care of your flow control. There are 2 protocols. You say I want a reliability for my data, then you can go for TCP. You say I just don't want reliability. Let the application take care. I want the data to quickly communicate. You go for UDP. Okay. So all these are functionality of the transport layer. Coming to the network layer. Okay. What is the function of network layer? The main function of network layer is your addressing and routing. Okay. So you take care of, see, without IP address, your packet can never move in the network. Okay. That is the main condition. All right. For any communication, your IP address is important. Now, the network layer is responsible for defining addressing mechanism for you. Okay, so you take care of your IP addressing, you take care of your subnetting, VLSM. So what is the class of IP you need? If it is a multicast, a broadcast, a unicast. So all these concepts you will be discussing in the network layer. Okay, in addition to that, how are everybody connected? Everybody are connected by running. When we discuss about the networking core part, we discuss that in the packet switching. How are the routers understanding which link it should forward the packet? It just take care by means of the routing table. How is the routing table built up? It is built up by means of the routing algorithm. Okay, so routing table, routing algorithm, management of the routing table, management of the algorithm, everything is done by means of the network layer. Okay, so here your data is your message. What you type is called as the packet. Okay, when it comes here, you call it a packet. Now coming to the data link layer. So data link layer, almost you are entering into a hardware layer. Okay, from the data layer, purely data layer, or purely message oriented layers, you just enter into the connectivity based layer. Then from the connectivity based layer, you just enter into the data link layer. So the data link layer, the main addressing is your MAC address. Okay. Now, it is a 48-bit address, and the MAC address is embedded in your NIC card, network interface card. Okay. Now, what is that MAC address? You have 6 sections in the MAC address. Okay, it is 48 bits. It has 6 sections. Now, the first 3 section is it identifies the manufacturer ID. Okay, it is, for example, Cisco. It is unique. The first 3 ID will be unique for all the Cisco cards. Okay, all the Dell cards, all the HP cards. It will be same for the manufacturers. Okay, the first 3 sections. The last 3 section is unique for a user. Okay, it is very unique for a particular user. So how many cards they just create, they will have it very unique. All right. So in the data link layer, what is the function of data link layer? Medium access control. Now take a Ethernet protocol. Okay, so in the Ethernet protocol, if everybody are trying to access the bus, it's a bus topology. It works on bus topology. Now everybody are trying to access the bus, or everybody are trying to access the switch. Now how do you manage it? Okay, so data link layer gives protocol related, or it gives functionality related to medium access control. Number 2 is error control. It is the only layer where tail is added to a packet. Okay, the error is calculated, and then that data is put up in the tail part. All right, the last layer is the bits. So, or the physical layer. So here is where all your fiber optics, coaxial cable, twisted pair, everything comes into picture. So physical layer, so far it will be in digital bits. It is converted into the corresponding medium oriented signal. Okay, it is converted into light, or it is converted into signal electrical pulse, or it is converted into radio waves. So this is what you call as the functionality of the layers. Okay, so as a network engineer, okay, so suppose your passion is networking, it's a very important topic. The first thing that you need to know in computer networks is the layers. Okay, so you should know about this. Suppose I want to just do some changes in my IP. Just go and check out only the network layer. You will not disturb the other layers. Okay, so your network is not connecting, your computer is not connecting to the network. For example, you say there is a network connectivity problem with your computer. So start troubleshooting from the physical layer. Okay, so what is that? Okay, let me see whether my network connectivity is correct. Okay, so whether I am connected. Okay, I will check here. Okay, yes, it is connected. All right, I have internet access and it is connected. So now what do I do? Let me come to the data link layer. Whether my switch is working on well, I'll go and check the switch. Yes, the switch is also working. It is also functioning well. Coming to the network layer. Let me come to the network layer. Okay, now let me just check out the IP address of my computer. Whether the IP address, the default mask, the default gateway, the subnet mask, everything is correct. Yes, it is correct. Now coming to the transport layer, whether the application that is installed in my computer is correct, whether the port numbers are properly assigned. So there are a few commands to check it. So using those commands, you will check the transport layer, and then coming to the application layer, you will say, okay, whether my browser is in the outdated one, or it needs upgradation, or whatever it is, should I do that? So troubleshooting wise also, you can go layer by layer. Suppose immediately your your computer throws an error like the browser is outdated. Okay, the browser is outdated. So immediately you will not go and check whether my network is connected, whether my switch is working. No need to do all those things. Straight away you can deal in application layer. You can talk about the application layer. Okay, so that is how the layers help you to understand the concept. Actually, in every computer, if you just dig down, you will not have physically such layers, but you will understand the concept of this network connectivity in terms of layers. Okay, so I want everybody to make that point clear. So you can read some more books to understand some more details about the layers. Now the next concept here is I had a slide which showed devices. So this is what I told you. Every application runs in the OSI model. Okay, now next one is numbering of layers. Always 7 is given to the top. Okay, usually we'll give 7 here. Layer 7 means it is the application layer. Please have this in mind. Layer 7 is the application layer. So have only one. Okay, don't confuse 7 for 6, 5. Okay, so you have only one point. Layer 7 means application layer. Then you will automatically remember all the others. Okay, now coming here to the presentation layer. What is that? Encryption, conversion, data conversion takes place in the presentation layer. Then coming to the session, it take care of your activity in the network. Okay, coming to the transport, end-to-end connectivity. Coming to the network, it talks about the IP address. Coming to the data link, it talks about the MAC address, medium access control, and logical link control. And coming to the physical layer, you will have the all these devices. It purely talks about conversion of your bits into signals. Okay, and it all talks about encoding techniques. It talks about modulation techniques. All those come into the picture. Okay, then so here in this picture, it shows different devices that operates in every layer. So see here in the physical layer, you have wires. Then in the data link layer, you have the switch, you have the wireless access point. Okay. Then coming to the network layer, you have wireless router, you have wired router. Coming to the transport layer, again, you can bring those devices, transport layer, session layer also, you can bring those devices in. And in the presentation layer, mainly it talks about data representation, that softwares related to encryption. Application layer, it is all the user and the device. Okay, so main thing I want you to concentrate is the router that comes in the network layer, switch that comes in the data link layer. There is one more device which is rarely used nowadays, is called the hub. Okay, so hub is purely a physical layer device. Okay, please have it in mind. Hub is a physical layer device. Now, what happens when suppose I type www.google.com? Okay, that was my message. Okay, what happened to my message? Or is there something, for example, you want to send a letter. Nowadays, rarely we send letters to our maybe relatives or parents or something. Okay, just we text it, or we just send a voice message, just send a video message, or we send an email. Okay, to the very lower level, we'll send an email. All right, so now suppose you wanted to send a postal letter. Okay, what is that you do? First thing is, you will take the message and you will put it in a cover. Okay, suppose you write a letter and just put it in the post box, the postman will open it and say it's a garbage. He'll put it in the garbage. All right, now what we are supposed to do is, we have to format it. Okay, there is a procedure to send a letter. All right, send a post. How do you send a post? Okay, first you will take a letter, you will put it in the cover. The first thing you'll do is, you put it in the cover. Then you will paste the cover, you will write the address. Okay, so from so and so. Okay, so this. Then two, you will write a different level of address. What is the first thing you will write? You will write the name, then you'll write the street number. Maybe if you have a door number, you'll write the door number, then you'll write the street number, then you'll write the place, then you'll write the district, then you'll write the state, then country, and the pin code. So these many information you will write over the cover, and then only you should post it. Okay, you will go to the post and you will post it. Similarly, in networks also, as you generate a message, you are supposed to do some functionality, not we, the system. Okay, the system does some functionality. So what is that they do is a process called encapsulation and de-encapsulation. Very important terminology. What is encapsulation? Adding of header and trailer to the data is called encapsulation. So where it is done in the sender side. Okay. And de-encapsulation is removing header and trailer from the data. Where it is done in the receiver side. So now the receiver has received a letter. What he'll do? He will tear it. He will remove the outer cover. Then he will read the data. Okay. The same way here also, encapsulation and de-encapsulation takes place. Now, what is that encapsulation? So your data is generated by the application layer. Now it comes to the presentation layer, then comes to the session layer. When it comes to the transport layer, for the first time, the transport layer will add a header to it. What will be there in the header? We will discuss when we discuss the unit number 3. Okay, I think unit 3, right? Now, to be short, the header will have port numbers. Okay, so destination port, I told you, as to the specific application, the data correctly come in. Okay, so how it come? because of port numbers. Okay, you will have the source port, you will have the destination port, you will have acknowledgement number, you will have sequence number. All those stuffs will be there in the header. Coming to the network layer, so this will come exactly to the network layer, where the network layer will have add the IP addressing information. Again, we will discuss what is there in this header in the fourth unit. Okay. Now coming to the data link layer, it again adds a header. So what will be there? A MAC address. Okay, source MAC address, destination MAC address will be there in the data link layer. Now what will be what you will add here? All these stuffs we'll discuss in the unit 5. Okay. Then all these information are converted into, it's in the form of a bits. It is converted into signal. Okay, it is converted to electrical signal, or it is converted into a pulse signal. So this is how you will do the layering. When it comes to the receiver end, okay, coming to the receiver end, what will happen? Again, the unwrapping of data takes place. The data link layer will open. It will check out. Okay, now this person has sent me a mail. Okay, it's a yeah. So what I'm supposed to do? Yes, it is for me. He will understand the MAC data. This person will understand the IP data. This person will understand the port information. Then session, presentation, and application. So this is how your encapsulation and de-encapsulation takes place. So please have a look at this. It explains in detail the de-encapsulation process or decapsulation process. Okay, now I'll give you some